with Dr. Mikhail Piontek, microbiologist and head of the lab Artes Biotechnology, which is working right now on COVID-19 vaccine. Mr. Piontek? There is the question of quantity, right? Because getting an effective vaccine doesn't in itself put an end to pandemic. What it does is a herd immunity. But that means that at least 5 billion people need to get a shot. I mean, can we, as humans, produce as many as 5 billion doses?
Certainly, yes, because many countries do have their own vaccine manufacturing capabilities. Luckily, we are in a situation where a lot of vaccines are out on the market. As I've given the example, you have annually a new flu vaccine, you have hepatitis B vaccine, papilloma vaccine, malaria vaccine, whatever, and you have in many different places all over the world suitable manufacturing sites with an enormous capacity. And of course, it has to be a combined effort to have this available to produce COVID-19 vaccines. And I'm sure there will be many different at the end of the day. And even the mRNA technology may be able to deliver on a short-term enormous amount of doses.
But I'm thinking, even if we do have several different kinds of vaccine in different parts of the world, the supplies will still be limited at a certain point. I mean, will there be a danger of richer countries hoarding vaccines at the expense of countries with worse logistics, less money? I mean, you know, when I remember the situation with the masks during this pandemic, it makes me think of the worst, because this is like a very simple thing to do, a mask. It's not technologically as complex as making a vaccine. And when I think of the mask shortages and how like people were trying to overtake the mask supplies for themselves and instead of like sort of giving it out to everyone, I'm thinking, what's going to happen with the vaccine when it arrives?
Of course, I think that's a very valid comment and question, and we all have to be aware of what to take care about our responsibility also. If we look ahead and we want to go back to some kind of normal, we need a kind of, as you said, global herd immunity or vaccination or whatsoever. So it doesn't help Russia or Germany to have our country protected, because it still will avoid that people come traveling to our places and the global economy will get affected. We have to take care about also underdeveloped countries to make technologies affordable. So we are in discussion with countries in Latin America, for example, and Southeast Asia, to bring our process to their manufacturing sites so that the local government and the local vaccine manufacturer can take care about their country, about their region, to deliver the vaccine to this corner of the world. I'm sure, of course, I mean, it's natural that European, US, Russian vaccine manufacturer has a responsibility to take in a first order care about their own population. And that's what people, of course, expect. But again, it's a global pandemic. So if we leave the rest of the world unprotected, we still will not have a free flow of people, travelers, economy, wares, and so on.
But then you may remember, like in 2009 was the swine flu, right? When the outbreak happened, an Australian company was among the first to make a vaccine, and the government made it available only to Australians, United States citizens, and Canada did the same thing. Does that mean that despite the fact that the world leaders are saying about this being a global interest, vaccine nationalism will still sort of prevail?
No, I don't think that in this situation we have now, it's different to what we had in 2009. We had small outbreaks which were sheltered in different regions and was not spread so globally. We now have a situation where, of course, people, governments every politician is speaking for his country to give his population the image they take care about them. But again, at the end of the day, it's a global challenge. and also the industry will take care about getting back to normal. There's an interest from everybody concerned in this race for a vaccine to give it to everybody. It's a different situation than we had with other diseases and other outbreaks.
Okay, I agree. And at this point, and it's like, I think unprecedented, there are 150 groups around the world trying to make a vaccine. And I keep hearing this team stole this data from another team, that team stole for that team, our scientists will surely develop the vaccine faster than scientists there, etc. So tell me, as someone who's actually developing a vaccine, why can't all these 150 groups make their vaccine projects accessible to each other and work together? I mean, what are the pitfalls to that?
It's not a pitfall. I think it's good that these different groups work on different solutions. It's not all the same, and nobody knows what will be the one solution to the problem. The best chance we have is that we have these many groups working on their individual competencies, technologies, and combining their strengths. And the variety of approaches will help us to get the solution in a shorter time and again at affordable costs and for a larger number of population. You may, in a moment, there's a lot of focus on mRNA vaccines. They are fast, it's the most progressed vaccine approach, but still nobody knows if it, at the end of the day, will bring the solution to all the problems. So we can be lucky that we have this 150 groups. And within these groups, there's a lot of exchange. I've never experienced this amount of open exchange between researchers as we do have these days.
Mm-hmm. So then from what you're saying, does a thing called vaccine race even exist outside of a political discourse? I mean, politicians talk about that a lot. But from someone in the process, are you guys in an actual race to get there first with your colleagues?
No, it's not about being the first. We need a fast solution. That is why everybody is rushing and hurrying up to offer a solution as soon as possible. As we discussed, there will be billions of people to be vaccinated, so we need several approaches and we need several manufacturing sites worldwide. So I'm sure this time also number 5, number 10 in the race, in the so-called race, will be very successful and well recognized. And it will be, again, can be glad that we will have a number of solutions at the end of the day offered. It's not a race about being the first and the rest has lost the market. That's not about it.
You know, it may be still too early to judge, but there are concerns that going through a coronavirus episode may not give a long-lasting immunity. What about the vaccine? I mean, can we say now for how long it can possibly grant protection?
No, we can't, and that's the one open question. There are now results coming up one by one that there will certain vaccine approaches result in the induction of the so-called T-cell answer, which is inducing a memory response so that your body remembers that it has seen this virus and develops during the next infection the antibodies faster without being again vaccinated. So these are the first indications, but it's not a proof. The proof will be once the vaccines are on the market. And then over a period of years, we will see if people are really protected for a long time. That's what we cannot predict right now. We can do some probability studies, making some educated guess on it, but we cannot be sure.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a Swiss immunologist, Ben Stadler, and he published a piece where he says that it's actually very likely that immunity against COVID does exist, and previous reactions to the virus were more fueled by panic than by real evidence. Could it be that the world is majorly overreacting to the threat posed by the virus?
There are discussions out that, for example, also children do not react so strong to COVID infection because they are basically infected every day, every week by another kind of virus, another flu virus, and maybe another coronavirus, maybe just something else. So they have a very active immune system, which may help to protect them against the COVID-19 vaccine, COVID-19 virus infection, sorry. And so, yes, it can be that there's a general immunogenicity against COVID-19 vaccine in some parts of the world also. That we have differences in different countries. And that may be a reason that kind of background immunity is sometimes stronger in certain populations, protecting also against COVID-19.
And Sadler also writes that, like the cold virus, this one may not survive the summer. But even if that's true, there will be a new winter and with it, supposedly a new form of COVID, like with the seasonal flu. What do you think?
We will have to honestly, we will have to wait and see what's happening in the next fall. If we are lucky, the COVID-19 outbreak will disappear like a flu outbreak. I remember 2 years ago in Germany, we had a pretty severe flu outbreak with more deaths than we have up to now due to COVID. And the next year, we had a new flu virus, which was less aggressive. And we have coronavirus all the time. It's not something which is popping up newly. It's an old virus. It's just that this year we have a very aggressive one. And it, again, may be, if we are lucky, that this one disappears and we have, again, a less aggressive coronavirus in the next winter. It may as well be that it sustains and we will have to deal with it for a long time. And that's, again, why we have to now develop a vaccine against this type of virus. We had SARS outbreak a couple of years ago. And we may have done better developing at that time already a very efficient SARS vaccine, which could now have helped us to be better prepared for COVID-19.
Dr. Pianta, good luck with that vaccine for the sake of all of us. I really hope it's going to be out there sooner rather than later. Take care of yourself, be safe, and thank you for all your work and for everything that you're doing for us.
My pleasure. Thank you for your interest, for your good wishes, and all the best to all of you. And let's get fingers crossed all together for the sake of the vaccine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.